This is Trixie the Golden Witch. You're on the stoop. I've been reviewing a bunch of singles back to back, and the one I'm going to do right now, that slipped my mind already somehow, is 64 Bars by Nerves.
What you reviewing? What you reviewing? What you reviewing?
This is yet another rapper that I had not heard of before starting on this project I'm on of reviewing all these singles. So I don't really know anything else about Nerves' catalog, but I assume they are from the UK based on the accent. And I was immediately struck by the fact that I was coming right off of the new SR song when I heard this. So I was very glad that this didn't sound like that very typical UK sound, that it wasn't immediately comparable to every other rapper from the UK that I've heard recently. So, if anything, this song, it makes a statement right off the bat by the fact that it's called 64 bars. It's obviously just going to be nonstop bars, and you get that sense from early into the track, and it feels like a almost comprehensive, like, life analysis type rap. It's sort of a, here's where I'm at right now in this moment in my career, in my life, my lifestyle. He's sort of, describing all facets of his ambition, of the current state of affairs, and what that looks like as an actual lifestyle, if that all makes sense. So I got a pretty decent full portrait of this person's life and artistry and where they're going from this track, which I appreciate. I think it's a very holistic kind of rap song, and it is just straight bars. Now, how great are these bars? I would say that there wasn't really any wordplay that stood out to me on this album. There weren't any flows that were completely original or unique. This song does have multiple beat changes, and there's a kind of interesting rhythm to the way that the rap changes along with the beat, because it kind of almost lags behind it. It's like the beat changes and then the style slowly changes to fit the beat in a way. So at the tail end of the song, the beat actually shifts into something that sounds more like the typical UK sound, like on that SR track, but the rapping doesn't sound like that. It continues to have the same flow it had before, but then slowly evolves into something that sounds a little bit more like that UK sound, but never quite just straight generic. It never sounds like it's just doing a parody of what songs in that style sound like, because it begins with more of a chill, vibey hip-hop sound, goes into more of a trap sound, and then eventually ends up in this UK sound. And I think it would have been easy for that to come off as gimmicky if it were more immediate, if it was I just completely changed flows and everything's different in this part of the song, or if it was trying to sound really generic. I do think these beats fall into that category a little bit just the beat switches themselves feel more gimmicky in that they are closer to generic than what is being done on top of them. But I do think that, he succeeds in not falling into that trap of looking like too much of a gimmick song. Although at the same time, it also doesn't feel that conceptual, where there are references to the beat changing in the song, and the fact that the flow changes across it is neat, but there's not really a reason. There's not a compelling narrative aspect to why the song is evolving and why it has these beat changes. It's just kind of there to be there, and that's fine. I like the song for this reason. I think even just the fact that as much stands out about it as does is already commendable. The fact that it has these beat change-ups, that the beat sounds pretty good. I actually think the first part probably was the best beat. So, I wouldn't say I was disappointed that it changed or anything like that, but I would say that by the time I got to the end, I was, more so favoring the first half of the track. And, even if these bars aren't amazing or gonna send me into thought or anything like that, it gave me a charismatic sense of this person and where their life's at and what they're kind of about as a rapper. So, even if that stuff wasn't extra compelling or interesting in and of itself. Like, it's not like they're, you know, making an announcement of character that I would think, oh, I have to follow everything this rapper does from now on. It's not that deep. It's not an amazing track, but it's interesting enough that, you know, if I saw another track from this rapper drop, I might be inclined to give it a shot. You know, I'd think, oh, I remember that being pretty all right. Let's see if the next song is maybe even better, or, you know, if they're going to develop and like bring even more conceptualization into the sound as they go. I'd be interested to see it. So yeah, I would say it's a pretty decent track. It's above mid. It's not mid. It's you know, it's got enough fire in its belly. It's got enough of that feeling of a need to capture this moment in your life where, you know, you're feeling really great and like really creatively inspired. You know, the last line of the song is like, I don't just rap, I'm an artist, or something to that extent. And like, rap is art, obviously, in my mind, but I understand the you know, trying to put forward that like, oh, I'm beyond the level of just saying generic bars. I'm also conceptual. I also have an artistic side. But in a similar way to like Lady Gaga's art pop, I think it's still a little too close to pop to go around grandstanding about how artistic it is, especially when there are people who are extremely popular and also really artistic, like Kendrick Lamar, who are definitely more arty than this is. This is not like a super artsy track. So, you know, I don't know, again, maybe if this if this rapper has, you know, a lot of more artsy songs in their catalog or a lot of less. It's sort of an averages thing. But this song on its own, I don't think can support the level of that statement. Not to say that I'm doubting that you're an artist, because obviously I think rap in itself is art, but just like to make that differentiation that this is like above the category of regular rap and some art strata. I don't know if it goes that far. I don't know if it's that deep, but I do think it's a fun song and I'd listen to more. So that's been my thoughts as Trixie the Golden Witch. You can find many more reviews of tracks, albums, all kinds of music here on this channel, Branches of Ygg. You will also find artist interviews. You will find my own original music and the collaborations I do with the producer and editor of this channel, Vizier. So check all that out. Let us know what stuff you want us to review in the comments below. Share these videos with anyone you think would be interested. And never forget, music is like staring into a camera.